So thank you so much. Good evening, residents of Mountbatten, friends. Thank you very much for taking time to come for this rally. We're so grateful that the weather held well. The rain came heavily just now, and I was wondering whether we are able to continue. So fortunately, the weather held, and I just want to thank each one of you for taking time to come and join us for this rally. My name is Biao Chuan. I'm the former MP of Mountbatten. I served as the MP in Mountbatten since 2006. And I want to sincerely thank every one of you for your kind support and words of encouragement all these years. I will say something in Mandarin. 大家晚上好，谢谢蒙巴登的居民，谢谢你们多年的支持，我很感动。大家都是我的好朋友，所以我想谢谢大家抽出宝贵的时间来今天的群众大会。我的名字叫牟全，我是之前蒙巴登区的国会议员，当了国会议员19年了，从2006年。大概2年前，我的妈妈跌倒，她的骨折，要进医院，所以虽然她已经恢复好了，我认为作为她的儿子，我需要多花一点时间跟她在一起。她已经93岁了，所以作为一个孝顺的儿子，我应该跟她过多一点时间，让她跟她的家人一起。所以当时我就要求总理给我这个机会，如果可以找到一个接班人，让我提早退休。所以总理很好了，总理说好，他明白，他了解我的情况，因为他也了解我已经当了19年4届的国会议员。大概10个月前，思琪就PAP 叫思琪来蒙巴登多看一看，多学学这一区是怎么样的，多了解我当议员的责任。如果你们是我的上网、我的面书的朋友或者 IG 的朋友，你会看到他的照片。有一些朋友问我，为什么你的面书、你的 IG 户口一直有他的照片？这是因为他在跟我学习。在这10个月，他一直跟着我走，参加这社区的活动，而我也注意他的表现。总理叫我注意他啦，因为如果他不适合的话，总理也说，提早告诉他们才可以做个决定。不过从我的观察，他真的有一个爱心，要照顾居民。他谦虚，很有诚意，很愿意听我们居民的反馈。他之前已经在布基蒂玛服务了13年，这是他的义工之一啦，所以他做了13年的义工，所以这一次派来蒙巴登也是考虑能不能够接过我的职位。我不晓得大家一直来，你们有考虑过做一个国会议员要有怎么样的条件？从我的角度，国会议员的责任是代表居民们跟国会上发表居民们的意见。当国会议员不是一个你要找自己的光荣，而要加上你的简历，说我以前当过国会议员，这个不是一个好的理由。所以对我来说，现在我是普通的选民了，我要我的国会议员愿意代表我，愿意在国会上发表我们的希望，我们的想法。而我也要我的国会议员做一个谦虚，做一个乐意照顾居民的国会议员。所以我观察了思琪10个月，从我的角度，他会当一个很好的国会议员，所以我就 报告给总理说，如果可以的话，希望你可以把思琪派来蒙巴登接过，作为我的接班人。所以总理就把他提名作为我们 PAP 的候选人了。我照顾了蒙巴登区19年了，很多居民们好像我的家人这样，我真的很不放心。如果没有一个好的接班人接过，我会心痛的，因为大家真的从我的想法，你们都是我自己人，我照顾你们这样多年了，如果发生什么事情，我真的不可以放心。所以我也希望我的接班人会好好的照顾蒙巴登区，建立一个更好的蒙巴登区。国会议员可以做什么？国会议员一向来都可以在国会上发表居民们的意见。所以之前我当了议员这样多年，我在国会上最常讨论的是在财政预算案的时候，我就告诉总理说，我们居民们最担心的是生活费用，所以一直来我告诉居民政府，我们要考虑怎么样的可以把我们的生活费压低。而政府也了解，每个部长我跟他们谈的时候，每个部长都说我明白，我们在想尽办法。只是新加坡是一个小国，是一个小的国家，所以做什么也好，我们只有限制，因为我们不能够控制世界上卖给我们的货品。所以政府现在最重要的是，差不多今年每个月，他有给你们 GST voucher， 有给你们SG60 voucher， 有给你们杂费的津贴，有给你们水电费的津贴。所以这是政府可以做的，就是给那些低收入的或者中收入的居民们更多支持，让你们可以调整你们的生活，就不用花这样多钱。我在国会也有讨论过关于教育部的事情，因为我认为我们的孩子们都很压力。我这样说是因为我之前2个女儿也是在读书啦，他们每次回家很多功课，我也是很担心。作为一个父亲，我也是怕，所以我就一直跟教育部长说，不要给孩子们这样多压力，给他们多一点时间可以开开心心的上学。所以教育部部长也是有跟我谈过，说他会告诉他的学校校长跟老师们，不要给我们的学生这样多功课，他们才可以有时间参加他们的课外活动。作为国会议员，不只是在国会讨论国家的事情，国会议员也要照顾居民们。所以在这19年之内，我遇到很多居民们，我跟你们有很多活动，是新年的活动、圣诞的活动或者其他的活动，我都在跟你们一起庆祝这些活动。而且如果有需要的话，我也会帮居民们跟部长谈，比如说Jalan Batu的电梯，在那个天桥的电梯，我跟部长谈了很多次，就让他答应说他会帮我们建一个电梯。在2019年 Silver Sea 那边有一个车祸，有一个选民过世了，因为被车撞倒。我就跟陆路管理局的人说，我想跟大家讨论，我们可以怎么样的使到这边更安全。所以跟部长谈，跟陆路管理局的人谈，他们就立刻反映给我，因为他们知道我是 PAP 的国会议员，他知道如果他们不配合的话，我就可以跟部长谈说，部长，这个是很严重的事情，希望部长可以要你的资源配合我们找到一个好的方法。所以我知道今天在场的人都是想了解思琪以后当了国会议员要怎么样，他的表现会怎么样。所以待会 时期就会有一点时间跟大家谈一谈，他也会解释给大家，他如果竞选的话，他要怎么样的代表我们的蒙巴登的选民，做一个好的国会议员。OK， 所以谢谢大家的支持。现在让我以英语发表一下。Thank you very much once again for coming. Earlier on I explained that about 2 years ago, my mother fell, she fractured her hip and had to be hospitalized. Although she has since recovered well, I felt that as a son, I needed to spend more time to look after my mother. It is my duty as a son to be responsible for my mother's welfare. She's already 93 years, and I felt that during this time, this period of time, she should be able to enjoy her time with her loved ones. Hence, I asked Prime Minister to allow me to step down at the end of this term. I explain this because over the course of the last 8 days, when I went campaigning with Zeki, many people have asked, why am I stepping down? We are very supportive of you. And I just want to say to every one of you, thank you very much for your support. I want to say that I requested to retire, and not that Zeki is here just to oust me. So please don't blame her for my retirement. I really seek your understanding that I need to spend time to do my duty as a filial son to my mother. About 10 months ago, Zeki was sent to Mountbatten to learn more about Mountbatten constituency. And she was asked to walk with me to see the work that I've been doing. And if you have been my friend on Facebook or on IG, you have seen her photos appearing in my Facebook account or my IG account. And some of my friends asked, hey, who is this lady next to you? Why is she always in your Facebook? I thought it's a good way to profile her so that she also has an understanding. So during the 10 months that she accompanied me for the many community events and activities, I observed her closely. And I find that she has a heart. She has a heart to serve the people. She's humble, she's sincere, and willing listener, and she has a very compassionate heart. She started serving the community in Bukit Timah 13 years ago, and this reflects her passion for service to the people. And because of that, I fully endorse her. And some of you would know, if you look at my Facebook or IG account, you know that I've been following her for the last 8 days of the campaign. As a retiring MP, I should be sitting down at home shaking leg and enjoying myself. But I felt that this is someone whom I respect for her willingness to step up, to be an MP, and therefore I decided that I would throw my weight behind her. I will campaign with her for the entire stretch of this campaign. So when I went to Tanjung Katong, when I went to Mayor to campaign to the landed properties, it was a really hot day. I went back with a sunburn, total sunburn. But it is something that I felt was worth it because Zeki is someone whom I felt would make a good MP. For those of you who may have read my rally speech 10 years ago in 2015, I was here making a speech, but 10 years ago I was the only speaker. I said that an MP's role is to serve the people, to represent their views in Parliament. It should never be a quest for personal glory or something to add to your resume. It is all about serving the people and caring for them. An MP should be compassionate and humble. He must be sincere and prepared to listen to his residents. He should not be arrogant, must be down to earth, diligent, and have a passion to help others. So after looking after Mountbatten for 19 years, residents here, you are really like my family, members whom I love, whom I care for dearly. And I really hope that whoever takes over my position as MP in Mountbatten will continue to improve the estate and continue to build a stronger community in Mountbatten. What does a PAP MP do? As a PAP MP, I've spoken in Parliament on various topics. I raise concerns about increasing cost of living, and in particular on healthcare costs. I urge the government to provide GST vouchers for retirees in private estate, and those who have no income, even though they are living in private estates. For the government to be more compassionate towards singles and divorcees. I appeal for the government to cut down on number of S passes, employment passes, and I urge government to give harsher punishment for companies that discriminate against Singapore workers. I also urge for more help for Singaporeans who have been retrenched. I speak about exam stress in school because at the time I had 2 daughters who are going through school. I've been case president for 9 years, vice president for 6 years. I speak on consumer matters because I feel passionate about consumer affairs. I appeal for climate vouchers to be given to private estate, and so this year the government agreed to give climate voucher for private estate residents because caring for the climate is everybody's business and not just for the HDB flats. I also appeal for benefits of economic growth to be shared with private estate residents during each budget debate. So the role of MP is to represent the views of the residents in Parliament. In all my 19 years as MP, I have never been asked not to speak my mind. Never. I have spoken frankly and bluntly on many occasions in Parliament. I want to say that the PAP values each MP for their independent views and how they can build a better Singapore. Thus, the party whip is only used for purposes of party discipline and never to stop an MP from speaking their mind. In addition, every month, the PAP MPs will meet in a caucus with Prime Minister and the political office holders. They meet in a caucus, and MPs are free to raise concerns to the government. And ministers too will take their time to explain rationale for their policies as well. So as a PAP MP, I had opportunity to meet and speak to ministers whenever I felt that there are cases which require special attention. So when I was first elected as MP in 2006, I raised the issue of poor frequency of bus services along Mountbatten Road. And LTA then contacted me, worked with SBS Transit to improve the frequency of services. I championed the need for more bus service along Tanjong Rhu Road. So those of you who have lived in Tanjong Rhu for a while, you know there was only one bus traversing Tanjong Rhu. And then because of the advocacy, a second bus service was added. I spoke in Parliament about the need for lifts for pedestrian overhead bridge for Jalan Batu residents. And then I went to see the Minister for Transport to argue my case for these lifts. And because I could demonstrate that in Jalan Batu there are many senior residents, the Minister acceded to my request. So this is the role of an MP. Wait, is the camera able to take? Otherwise, is the camera able to continue? Is the camera continue?
Okay, got the audio feed from that.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you. Relax. Save some energy for Gozuki. So what happens now? I just speak. Okay. Can. Okay. So while they try to fix the electricity, let me continue. Now that's the role of MP. As long as I can put up a compelling case, I know that I can speak to a PAP minister to explain my needs. It doesn't mean that I will always get whatever I want, but access to ministers and to the senior civil servants certainly help an MP's work. Let me share that I don't agree with all the government policies, and there are times when I don't agree, I will speak to the minister. I will say, let me have a session with you so that I can express my concerns. And the minister knows that every time I say something, I do so sincerely with a view of making Singapore better and not just to criticize his ministries or his policies. I acknowledge there are still areas that the government can improve upon. But I urge residents, I urge citizens, please acknowledge the rest of the good work done by this government. Please do not measure the government by only what you are unhappy with. Please consider the fact that we have a first-class government which is very efficient and non-corrupt. Our school system is one of the best in the world. Every student has access to good teachers and to schools with excellent facilities. So whether you come from a rich background or poor background, you have the opportunity to succeed if you are willing to work hard. For HDB flats, the government has worked hard to address concerns about affordable BTO flats. And if you plan early enough, you can get a flat which is very affordable. And the HDB is working very hard to shorten the time required to get your BTO flat. Our government has also worked hard to attract investment. Thank goodness. Let's hope it stays. You know, I used to work as a fruit seller when I was young. So I learned how to shout loud, salap to call, golap to call. So I hope those at the back could hear what I said earlier. Could you all hear what I said earlier? Thank you. So the government has been working very hard to attract investments into Singapore. It's something that we don't really pay attention to because we always have good jobs. But the work to bring in investments, top-class investments into Singapore is really hard work. And it's very important because when we have economic growth, our young people can find jobs. If you just look at the many countries where there's high unemployment, they are all looking at Singapore and saying that, hey, Singapore is so well run, you can find jobs easily. I know we have some concerns because there's a slowdown, but let me assure every one of you, Ministry of Trade and Industry is looking very hard to continue to bring in more investment so that we can continue to provide good jobs for Singaporeans. And that is the commitment of a PAP government, to make sure that we all have good jobs for our young people, maintain the jobs for the rest of our citizens. So these are the good things that a PAP government does. So I want to urge everyone again, don't just think of the things that you're not happy with. Look at it from an overall picture and ask yourself, is Singapore worth what we stand for? Is Singapore something that we are proud of? And I think, I'm quite sure, every one of us, when we take out our red passport, anywhere you go in the world, you feel proud. I'm a Singaporean. Anywhere in the world you show your Singapore passport, people will look at you and say, wow, you Singaporean, Lee Kuan Yew, fantastic country. So Singapore is something that I personally feel passionate about. Many people that I meet feel passionate about. And we will want to continue making sure that Singapore is well run, and we will all continue to be proud of Singapore. For those of us who are worried about cost of living, I want to assure you, every time I speak in Parliament about cost of living, Finance Minister said, I totally agree with you. But we have limited control about costs. Because we are a small country, we import everything. Everything we import. Even water, sand. And if Indonesia helps us and don't burn when we get free air, but every time they burn, we worry too. So everything we import. And because of that, there is a limit as to what we can do regarding cost of living. So the government is aware, and what they try to do is to make sure that we give offsets. We give GST vouchers, which are permanent, to offset the cost of GST. We give CDC vouchers to help reduce your cost of living. We give rebates for SMC. We give utilities rebate. We try our best to mitigate the cost of living for those who are lower income, middle income, so that at the end of the day, you will not feel the pinch. It is not meant to be an ang pao. It's meant to mitigate the cost of living so that spread over a long period of time, you will feel it less. Of course, I know that some of us, we take the CDC voucher, immediately spend it on something, and therefore you do not feel it. But CDC vouchers are meant to help mitigate the increased cost of living. So after working with many of our government ministers for many years, I just want to assure all of us, our ministers care deeply for Singapore. They spend hours and hours of their time thinking of how to make Singapore better, how to care for all our citizens. We really, I want to say this from the bottom of my heart, we really have a caring and compassionate government. I say this even though I'm retiring as an MP. I don't have to say nice things about government anymore because I'm a retiring MP. But from the bottom of my heart, I firmly believe that the PAP is the government for Singapore. This is not a perfect government. From time to time, there will be policies which may be right at the time of implementation, but it needs to be tweaked after several years to take into account changing conditions. But for every government policies, the government has to balance the rights of different groups and the trade-offs needed. So I hope voters will also understand that these are the challenges facing the government. Next is constituency work of MP. I've done this, and if Zuki is elected in, she'll be doing this. So I served for 19 years. Many residents have grown to know me better during this period. And although Zuki is new to Mountbatten, I hope residents will reach out to her and care for her so that she can reach out to you and care for you in the same manner that you have become friends with me. You will see her more during the Meet the People session. You'll see her when she does the regular house visits. And I want to assure you she will do it because that's what I've been telling her for the last 10 months. Please do not slack. Please do not let me down. Do the work that I've been continuing, and the residents will love you in the same way that you have extended your love and care to me. So when she attends dialogues in the condos, when she attends community events, please give her the same support that you have given to me. For the town council, some of you know that I've been town council chairman since 2010. I've been involved in the town council since the day I was elected. We have already done up the town council plans for our HDB estate. Zeki will continue to work with Marine Parade Town Council to carry out these plans. And along the way, she will take feedback from each one of you and consider what are the other improvement works that are needed. So I know the potential impact that an MP can have on your life. It's not just about talking in Parliament, not just about speaking up. If you have an issue that you need your MP to intervene for you, you hope that you will get an MP who is willing to hear you out and do his best to appeal to the government agency to help you. An MP who has a direct access to the minister is really something very useful. Because of my friendship, that relationship, the minister knows that I'm not out to criticize his ministry, to hammer him and to run him down. He knows that we are both working together to improve Singapore. Then I worry about someone who has never done the Meet the People session, someone who has never done any volunteer work in the constituency. If that person is elected to be your MP, that person, I think all of you should sweat a little bit. politics is not a game. It's not a game where you can come once in 4 years and claim to champion people's rights, when you don't even visit them to know what the residents need. Politics is serious because people's lives are affected. I just want to speak very shortly about the independent candidate, Jeremy Tan. I've never heard of him until earlier this month when I heard that he wishes to stand as an independent candidate in Mountbatten. And from what I've read about him, he's young, he's articulate, he speaks well, although sometimes his language I don't agree with. Although in this election, he is the political opponent of the PAP, he is not my enemy. We treat him as a fellow Singaporean who wish to make Singapore better. We can have our differences in opinion about the way Singapore is managed, but we will never attack him personally. Zuki and I have agreed we'll both respect him for taking the effort to contest in Mountbatten. But let me share that I do have some concerns when I read his opinions, I hear the interviews that he gave, and I worry whether he knows how to manage a constituency if he is elected as an MP in Mountbatten. First, he will not be able to manage a town council. He will not manage a HDB flat. He has no experience managing a town council. Would he know how to select a managing agent? Select a team of conservancy cleaners? Would he know how to ensure that the lists in your HDB flat are properly maintained or replaced when their lifespan is up? Does he know even what is the lifespan of a lift? Would he be able to quickly build up a team of experienced volunteers to help him manage a town council? So I read his interview the other day, and clearly my sense is he does not know how a town council is run. Now, if Zuki is elected, I've told her she can call me anytime. I've been chairman for so many years, and we have a team of experienced volunteers who have worked with me and who will assist Zuki in managing a town council. Next, Jeremy says that he is living near Mountbatten and therefore the residents will see him more often. So I think as voters, we should ask him, why has he never volunteered to help in any capacity to make the lives of Mountbatten better? I always look at this. If you are sincere in wanting to make the life of our residents better, have you done anything to make it better? Because it's easy to say, I will do this, I will do that. But can you deliver? So if he's able to demonstrate, I have spent so much time doing service in Mountbatten, then my respect for him will go up a notch. But what I understand is he has not done so. None of the agencies, the active aging centers that we have worked with him before. In contrast, Zuki has already been serving since 13 years ago. Her actions show that she cares deeply for the community. She is a doer, not just talk only. So again, let me say, what a voter needs is an MP who is compassionate, willing to listen, willing to go to the government, to parliament, to argue the case and persuade the government to see his voters' point of view. And very importantly, you need someone who is able to work with the government to ensure that we have good policies that will bring Singapore forward for the next 30, 40, 50 years. Is Jeremy able to do that? Does he have the compassion and the patience to listen to the voters? None of us really know. I don't know. Because many of my residents say they have not seen him at all. And when I visit the residents, many of them say they didn't have the opportunity to speak to him. For Zuki and I, we have been campaigning for the last 8 days. We have visited block after block, landed property after landed property. We didn't meet many of you because during the day, many of you are not in. But that's our commitment, that we want to serve Singapore. So when we go to the polls this Saturday, may I urge all of you, please support the PAP. Please support Go Zuki. Let me introduce Go Zuki to you so that she can speak to you from her heart and to share more about herself. Let's cheer for Go Zuki!
my fellow Singaporeans, residents of Mountbatten, para penduduk salam sejahtera. Vanakkam, Mountbatten, Makalay. Mountbatten 的居民们，你们好吗？ I am Go Zi-Ki. And really, thank you very much for being here at the rally today. And you know, it means a lot to me and the PAP Mountbatten team. So thank you, and a big thank you for being here. And guess what? It is your support, your energy, and your belief in a better future for Mountbatten that inspires me to stand before you today. Tonight, I hope to share a message that's not just printed in my manifesto, but one that is very close to my heart, the hearts of my team. And this is our slogan for this election, and it is Mountbatten, our home and our hope. And let me be honest with you. I stand here humbled, excited, and inspired for what we can achieve together. And I want to show you from the bottom of my heart that I believe we can make Mountbatten our home and our hope. Thank you. And now I'm just going to take a few minutes to introduce myself and the work that I have done. I'm a mother, a daughter, a sister, and a mother of 2 teenagers. And like many of you, I'm a working mother, balancing my career with my responsibilities at home. And also, I am a dog lover. I have dogs at home. During my house visit, I met many furry friends, and they are truly a big part of our families. Professionally, I am a maritime lawyer with about 22 years under my belt. But more importantly, for 13 years, more than 13 years, I have served as a party and a grassroots activist in Bukit Timah. And I have served in many roles, such as branch secretary of PAP Bukit Timah, the vice chair of the Bukit Timah CCC, and also the vice chair of a residents network. From running legal clinics, to setting up community fridges for families in need, to raising funds for stationery vouchers for children of more needful families. I've worked with town council, residents committees, and partnered social services organization. And of course, the ever constant Meet the People sessions and community outreach programs. These have been truly the heart of my work. I was also a member of a local hospital's Medifund committee. There, I helped to evaluate and approve financial aid applications put before the Medifund committee by our medical social workers. And that work was deeply meaningful to me. I've been called a renegade, someone independent and very stubborn, not afraid to ask the tough questions and debate policies, issues behind closed door. I was perfectly comfortable being an activist in the background. In fact, when I made the decision to step up 13 years ago, it was just merely to help. Running for the elections was something that I really never ever thought about. However, the very last push to serve that convinced me to run was to secure the future of the next generation, our children. all, as parents, we want the best for our children. It's always at the back of my mind that we must leave Singapore a better state for the next generation that was handed over to us. And that's why we, Mr. Lim and the PAP, chose to serve. And let me say this, there was no parachute involved. I have been walking the ground for decades, and I will be on the ground for Singaporean for decades more. And that is my commitment to you. And now I would like to spend a bit of time to talk about my mentor, Mr. Lim Biao Chuan. He has served Mountbatten with great dedication, and I have been working so closely with him to understand the concerns of Mountbatten residents. His commitment is truly an inspiration to me, and I am determined to continue his legacy of service. I want to thank Mr. Lim Biao Chuan and the PAP Mountbatten team for their hard work for the past 19 years. Please, I want a bigger round of applause for Mr. Lim Biao Chuan. And all of you would have seen the things that he has done, the improvements that he has done.
Thank you.
And without a doubt, Mr. Lim Biao Chuan was a very hard-working MP.
Yes.
Yes? Do I hear a yes?
Yes.
I think a few truly appreciate the sure effort and sacrifice that a very hard-working MP like Mr. Lim Biao Chuan puts in. You know what? Every HDB block, every residential property that we have visited, I've heard this phrase, I know Mr. Lim. 他真的很厉害. And honestly for me, really honestly for me, it is very intimidating. It's really very intimidating to hear that I have such big shoes to fill in. You know, when I say this, you know, Mr. Lim's friend said that, hey, I made him sound like a big foot. But they did not mention that Mr. Lim walks very fast. Okay. Yeah, he walks around Mountbatten and it's as if he is speed walking, you know. But you know what? That would not hold me back. And that looks like I have to run twice the normal speed that I walk just to catch up with him. So again, to my dearest mentor, Mr. Lim Biao Chuan, really, thank you for all you have done for Mountbatten. Chuan, Lim Biao Chuan.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Mr. Lim, yes, your family truly deserves you back. So, summarizing the past, the work that Mr. Lim and I have done for the residents of both Mountbatten and Singapore for over the decades, now let's look at the present of Mountbatten. This 9 days of campaigning is simply too short. Even that 10 months that I've been here in Mountbatten is simply too short. But let me share some experiences, you know, throughout this 7 to 8 days of campaigning. I have walked and I have clocked 20 to 25,000 steps every day with Mr. Lim joining me. Together with my team of volunteers, we have communicated our message through our manifestos, banners, our vans, and our flyers. Some of you may have met me while I was eating noodles at Old Airport Road Food Centre. Well, they are all my favorites. Please don't ask me to choose which stall is my favorite. I don't want to get into trouble or a food fight, yeah? or see me talking to residents at, Jalan Batu and Kallang Estate Food Center. In fact, quite a few of you I met around the ward have become very familiar faces to me, and some of you have opened not just homes to me, but also your hearts. And this is something that I am truly grateful for. You have become my friends. And really, this is who I am. I am not a slick talker. I offer no catchy soundbites or slogans. I make no empty promises. But what I can give you is hard work, sincerity, and the conviction to serve. For those who know me will know that I don't believe in elitism. I don't care if you are a law student, and I don't care if you are a senior counsel, or the fact that I have 22 years of practice as a maritime lawyer under my belt. We are all peers and Singaporeans, and every single one of our opinions matter. I have poured my heart out and pounded the ground for over a decade, and I've always believed in being hands-on, rolling up my sleeves, seeing things for myself, and having very personal engagements with my fellow citizens whom I am fighting for. And this is the spirit that will follow me should I be elected as your MP. Now, I would like to move on to this. I see a lot of young people here, and I would like to highlight the impressive questions from our younger voters. You are very well educated and articulate in your thoughts. And some of your questions about the policy and proposals of my opponent about Bitcoin were raised to me. So let me be clear about this. Many of the residents that I've met told me that they rejected. So I won't give it too much exposure. But for the older generations who may not be familiar with Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, let me just summarize. My opponent want the government to bet our money in a wildly volatile product, Bitcoin. And guess what? Bitcoin is not backed up by any physical assets or any government body. And this is unlike the US Treasury bonds of gold. It can go to zero. There is nothing to back it up. My opponent will and can only tell you the upside. This is what I call gambling. And let me say this again in very clear terms. The PAP does not believe in gambling. And for those younger voters who know more about the topic, I want to highlight something. For all the hype about in-check Bitcoin, why is he recommending Bitcoin and early retirement when he himself has admitted that he made his money from a brick and mortar distribution business? Walk the talk. Other proposals are also similar. Additional 0.5% more interest on CPF money used for investment into Bitcoin products to be paid by the government. Bitcoin baby products. Bitcoin for newly ORD-NS men. Just ask the government for more money. Should this money drop from the sky? Some of the ideas are simply just not practical. I also failed to distill the logic from the motherhood statements in some of his explanations. It would be irresponsible, perhaps downright naive, to think that these problems we face could easily be solved with an AI paragraph. Also, it is important not to confuse ideas and suggestions with actual policy making. We do not run a country based on fleshy sound bites. I will leave it to the residents to question his motivations. Now, with the present of Mountbatten discussed, now let's move on to the future of Mountbatten. Let me take one moment to talk about the PAP and Singapore. One, the PAP is not a populist government. Number two, the PAP is not about to gamble our children's future by promising you the sky. Three, the PAP is not afraid to make tough decisions. We must remember how we got here today, a harmonious first world country, much admired in an increasing turbulent world. The PAP of today believe in the democracy of deeds, not just words. We welcome everyone to engage in constructive feedback, to contribute ideas and solutions, to collaborate towards a better Singapore, a more inclusive Singapore. The PAP government was able to uplift Singapore with a strong mandate given by the people for the last 60 years. In this pivotal moment in our Singapore story, such a strong mandate has never been more critical for our nation's future. PAP has been and will continue to be a constant pillar to lean on, no matter how rough the seas or storms. PAP will always be there for you and for Singapore. For the residents of Mountbatten, my fellow Singaporeans, this GE is not about choosing a new MP, but an endorsement for our new PAP term. The future of our nation is now at stake. Over the past 10 months, I have personally walked every corner of Mountbatten without fanfare. I met many of you, listened to your suggestions, spent hours in discussions with Mr. Lim Biao Chuan and the team to map out many things that we could do. Dog runs, constituency sports clubs, career assistance, mental health support, precinct improvements. We have heard you and are ready in discussions with stakeholders to make these things happen for you. I will work on childcare slots and connectivity improvements. I shall go see the relevant ministers and office holders directly for specific issues that some of you have raised with me. Expanded legal aid and financial advisory services are coming. Job mobility clinics for those who seek to pivot their careers and those starting out on their first careers. Intergenerational activities in our neighborhood are coming your way. Community fridges are coming. But beyond these specific things that I do for you, I hope to share and inspire a grander vision of what I hope that Mountbatten can become, a gracious place to live, where we could all be proud to call home. Having discussed the past, my introduction and efforts with Mr. Lim Biao Chuan and the current team, the present, the kind of voice you will have in Parliament, and how I'm willing to listen to all voices, regardless of how young or senior you are. The future, what future projects we have planned for Mountbatten, and how the PAP will remain the faithful, trustworthy steward of our nation's future. That brings us back to my team's slogan. Mountbatten, our home and our hope. Our home, because we are on the ground together. Regardless of who you vote for or support, we just want the best for Mountbatten. Together, we can make this place and make Singapore a place we could all be proud to call home for generations to come. And there is so much that we can do together. Our home, let us all remember, through all the tempests and storm, we journey on as a nation, as one. Each and every one of us a part of the Singapore story. So let's repeat this phrase together. Mountbatten, our home and our hope. 那我现在是用华语跟你们也讲个给我的这个言语哈。亲爱的蒙巴登居民，大哥大姐们，晚上好。吃饱了吗？加爸喂。我是吴诗琪，很荣幸能在蒙巴登为人民行动党出战。谢谢大家出席今晚的群众大会。让我先介绍我自己吧。我今年46岁，和很多新加坡女士一样，是一名职场妈妈。我是一名海事业律师，在2011年大选时候加入了行动党。那时候我是一名年轻妈妈，孩子还很小。记得当时我对新加坡政治局势感到不安，看着我年幼的孩子，我告诉了自己再也不能袖手旁观，我得站出来，用自己的精力和时间来帮忙捍卫我们下一代的未来。当然，政府也不能完全的照顾到每个方面，如果做得不好、不够的地方，请大家多多包涵。我们会聆听你们的意见，并且我会努力为你们做得更好。这60年来，人民行动党政府不只是为人民打造了一个安全稳定的家园，也为我们带来了繁荣与富裕。没有行动党，就没有今天的新加坡。我想这是很多新加坡人民可以认可的。现在国际局势不明朗，世界正在巨变，我们不能再把以往式的稳定和繁荣当作是理所当然的。而从独立到今天，行动党与我们风雨同舟，带我们度过了不少风风雨雨。我相信只要我们团结一心，哪怕什么大风大浪，我坚信人民行动党为国为民的用心良苦是不可以质疑的。虽然我刚在2个星期前才被公方为蒙巴登的候选人，可是我已经在这里活动多月了。我已经走遍了蒙巴登选区的各个角落，参加了不少社区活动，也认识了不少居民。你们当中有很多我熟悉的面孔，你们对我的热情欢迎，我很感激。林蒙全先生在蒙巴登为居民服务已经20年了，他的确把蒙巴登照顾得很好。我知道他深受你们的支持，也知道林蒙全先生非常爱护这里的居民。寻找一个合适的继承人是他心中的一个结。我很荣幸他能相信我，并且给我他全心的支持。谢谢你。他真的是我的前辈。在这里，我对林蒙全先生和你们的承诺，如果我当选， 我会同样的热情和忠诚为蒙巴登的居民们效劳。所以呢，请大家投我一票吧，谢谢大家。Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience and thank you very much for being here with me today. Thank you. Good night.
So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your support. So may I urge everyone, let's stand up together and say, Majulah Singapore 3 times. Majulah Singapore! Majulah Singapore! Majulah Singapore! Thank you very much, everyone. Good night. Thank you for your support.
Take picture with you.
He's handling the
仔團隊係收。
Yeah.